Today's devotional, we're talking about one of the most well-known and repeated scriptures that I know of and that I've heard over the years. We're in Jeremiah chapter 29, verses 11 through 13. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Eternal, plans for peace, not evil, to give you a hope, to give you a future and hope. Never forget that. At that time, you will call out for me and I will hear. You will pray and I will listen. You will look for me intently and you will find me. Sometimes we get caught up in our present circumstances and believe the lie that God is not listening or no longer sees us. I remind myself all the time that there's no surprises for God. Even on days where it seems like the extraordinary has happened to me, I have to kind of rein myself in a little bit and say, God knew that this was going to happen. He knew that I was going to face this. This isn't a plot twist in the life that He wrote for me. He laid every plan for my life. He is the designer, the author of my life, and He's working in circumstances that I can't possibly see or understand how, but He is. And I have to choose to believe that He's always working for my good. I've talked a lot in these devotional videos about how faith is an active and enduring choice, and it is to believe that in the midst of a present difficulty or uncertain circumstance, to choose to believe in God and to choose to stand on biblical truths. It is an active and enduring choice. It's not a one-time decision. It's a daily facing every circumstance decision. I believe and I choose faith because of what I know is true, and that's that God is good and God is faithful. He listens, He sees me, and He loves me far more than I will be able to comprehend. So how do you tangibly or practically trust God with your future? I believe that it starts by spending time with Him every day, intentionally making the time and inviting Him into your day. Asking for an increase of faith to see and to hear Him. Lamenting, so bringing that hopelessness and shame that you experience, regardless of when or what the circumstance is, and giving it to God because He wants it and He's more than capable of handling it. Asking God for a refreshed and renewed spirit. God has a plan, and remembering that He is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or could imagine, and He's a good God. So a question to think about is, will you trust God with your future despite what your present might look like? So the challenge today is to do that, is to trust God with your future. And again, I've kind of outlined a few things you can do right now to tangibly make steps to doing that. And so that's what the challenge is. Another thing that you can do is kind of list out hopes and dreams. One of the exercises that I'm having our Bible study gals do is, what do you want your life to look like in 6 months? And writing your desires down on paper and bringing them to the Lord and leaving them there. And then the second part of that particular exercise that we're doing is, what is God asking of me in the meantime? So what does God have for you? What ministry, what role, what is He calling you to do in the here and now? It works both ways. You trust, but you also move and you have action in the will of God.